Talking Sex Live with Chet and Diane is recorded in front of a live audience. This show is for mature audiences only. Hello, everybody. We are Talking Sex Live. Again, I'm Chet.
I'm Diane.
And we're unlicensed sex therapists. We are being joined from our, we're in our cabin up in Aspen. And we are joined by our awesome producer once again, Wells. How are you doing tonight, Wells?
Hi, everybody. I'm doing well. How are you?
Cool. We are great. And you, the last couple weeks, have had you were out on some dates. Is that right?
Yeah, I went out on a couple dates.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Any notable experiences with that?
Well, COVID has created some problems there. A young woman messaged me on one of the dating apps and said, please come over with a mask on. And so I came over with my cloth mask, and that was not the type of mask that she meant there.
So, one of the BDSM stuff, huh?
Misunderstanding. It was more of a BDSM thing she was going for.
Wow.
Not about safety.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because the last two shows that you were out, we had another producer by the name of Peter, who is a sex expert as well, and also a sex toy tester. We have him on as a collaborator, just someone to go to for additional information. Welcome, Peter. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me back. Mm-hmm. After my dalliances with that board you have there, trying to make sense of all the call-ins and the trouble I had, I was afraid you weren't going to ask me back. So I'm really honored that you would have me back now in a producer role, but as what I do, I was going to say for a living. I mean, it's a hobby, it's a love. I do make some money off of it, coaching on the side, training, and from the reviews. Mostly though, I get to keep the products, and that's really the compensation I get.
That's right, and I love again the background. I love all of your sex toys in the back there. I just was wondering, how often do you use it, and what's the process of using those? Do you just go and be like Batman trying to like put on his utility belt, or like Neo from the Matrix and says, "We need guns. We need sex toys," and then sex toys come out.
I did have a partner make a leather utility belt, a toy belt, as she called it, for me. Actually, in fact, she made the full-on bandoliers. So I had those with all sorts of different toys and plugs throughout it. It made me feel a little bit like a sex Batman, I have to say, although it did remind me of just, I don't know how he keeps track of where each thing is in his belt, because in that moment, I needed the clitoral stimulator, then I needed the anal beads. It's like I had to stop and look for them, and that didn't it took me right out of the moment of feeling like some sort of a more mature I suppose Batman's pretty mature, but whatever the next stage of sexual maturity is that you can take Batman to, I didn't quite feel it in that moment the way I had when I first put on the belt and the bandolier.
Yeah, when we have a sex toy that is often too complicated to use, or we can't just quickly get to it, like both of our my man boner and her lady boner just goes boop, and like it's like, well, we don't want to have sex anymore, we just get angry, and so you got to get a sex toy that's just like bam. Well, we don't get angry, but
Well,
and that's part of my process too, is figure out what toys just work, so you don't lose your boners.
That's right, don't want our boners. Wells, any sex toys for you? Any fleshlights or pocket pussies?
Well, I had a question for Peter there. It looks like you have a very realistic looking flaccid circumcised penis that has testicles. What would you use that for?
We had the same question last time too.
I personally don't have a need for that. I am privileged enough to be a cisgendered male myself, so I'm equipped with everything I need to present the way I see my gender. But that's known as a packer. and that's what's used by people who are transitioning from female to male and feel that they need to represent that in their underwear and a bulge in a realistic fashion. It gives them a better sense of how they feel their body should be, or to present it how they should be. It's probably not my best job describing it, and that would be better for a person, a transgender person, to fully describe it. But as a cisgendered male, that's probably the closest I can come to encompassing what that's used for.
Wow. So we have some callers coming in. I hope they're Wells. How many? Who do we have up first here?
Well, first we have BJ,
Okay.
who is
Ooh,
wondering when's the right time to tell a partner that you only have one testicle.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. That's a complicated one. That's really. Hello, you're Talking Sex Live with Chet and Diane. I am Chet.
I'm Diane.
And is this BJ?
Hey, Chet. Hey, Diane.
Hi.
Hey, I like the name BJ. Did you get a lot of guff about that in high school, or?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time.
And you
But
choose to use it,
you know
or?
what?
Really?
Yeah. I try to use it to my advantage every once in a while.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. I hope you would get a lot of fellatio. So you have one testicle, is that correct, or is this for a friend, or?
Yeah, no, this is definitely my situation, Chet. So in my case, I got diagnosed with testicular cancer back in 2015. So it is safe to say that I am now half as nuts as I used to be. So I lost my lefty, and then my cancer did come back. But to be clear, that's all right. I tried. There are some benefits, Chet. Diana. My jeans fit better. I'm, 50% less likely to zip my nut up in my pants now. So
that's true.
yes. I try to focus on the positive. My chafing factor is reduced. It's nice.
Yeah.
Easier
when
to
I
teabag.
Right. When I tell people that I'm a 2-time testicular cancer survivor, I don't want them to think that I'm a flat bagger. It's that I still have one. So here's where the question really does, and I know that, you guys are so good with dealing with, sex questions and sex therapy and giving advice in that regard. And, and I was just thinking, I wonder really how you are before all that happens, and try to get you guys' thoughts about dating and relationships. And really, when it comes down to when is the appropriate time to tell someone that, hey, I only have one testicle. Now, I don't mean like when I meet a girl on the first date, it's the first thing. You look nice. Hey, I got one testicle. I don't mean like that,
you
but at some
lead
point,
with there. Yeah.
right. So at some point that's going to come up, and I just, and people, I've had people say to me, you don't need to tell, it's up to you. You could tell them. Here's the thing. I wouldn't want to lead someone on and then say we're 10 dates in and, whatever, and nothing has happened. You know what I mean? I mean, is it important to mention it? It's just something that I think about. And here's another thing. So the one thing is the physical aspect of it. And then the other side is, at some point, it's probably important, especially if I want to get in a relationship with someone, that I would mention that I had some sort of health history, because one, I don't know yet, and I hope that I can, but I may have fertility issues, and if my partner would like to have kids, that that could be important. Or
I think that's the biggest
fact
thing
that my
right there.
Yeah.
You want
you
to
can wait till you've seen the person for a while, and then once you start to get serious, you could bring up, hey, I may not be able to have children.
Yeah.
But in the beginning of the first courting stages, you don't need to mention that.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just the
true.
beginning. Get to know the person. You may not get serious, you may, and then when you do, bring it up.
Yeah. Sometimes if you jump out right away before they really know you with that information, they could scare them off. If they love you, they're going to love you for who you are and not what you can do. So I feel that there's always a workaround if you only have if your fertility options are limited. That's nothing new. There's a lot of people who are in the same boat as you are, and there's a lot of options that you can do to have a baby. You could do
Right.
yeah. So, but is it more about you? Like, do you not want to scare them off? Is it can you not perform as well as you could with one testicle or?
Right. So as it stands right now, and I'm currently 3 years in remission from relapse.
Okay.
So, we're continuing to check my hormone levels and all that to make sure everything looks good. But, there could be some, sexual dysfunction that could be a concern. And obviously, like, how far do you want to go before you mention that, right? Like you wouldn't want to surprise your partner, months in that, you know what I mean? I feel like
months in you should be having some sexual activity.
Yes.
I don't know about what your beliefs are, but I mean, that's something that you're either going to tell them about and like, hey, I can't function as well, so my sexual activity is not going to be as good, or you just hope they don't freak out in the bedroom when you can't get an erection. Is that the situation? Have you been in a situation where you've gone in the bedroom and?
So right now, Chet, that's not the concern at this moment.
Okay, good.
However, there is some concern in the future, given that I have lost a gonad. So there's issues, and especially with me getting older, and I'm 40.
Okay.
So as I'm getting older, your T levels are dropping, so you want to make, there's a lot of things at play. And I will also mention it with this. And like I said, this isn't something that you would, kick off at the top of a date, obviously. But at some point, I might mention, right. But I might mention, I'm a cancer survivor, something like that. And if the conversation goes in that way,
it's a good way to do it. And if they ask what type of cancer, which most people probably wouldn't, if you said it right off the bat, just be honest. It's like I had testicular cancer, and I still have one testicle, and I can perform just the same, or be honest and just say that takes just a certain amount of something to get me aroused. Just I mean, whatever your situation is. So
and I think the biggest thing, aside from that there could be. Listen, if I was going to get serious with someone and I knew what I wanted to see them again, at some point, obviously, I want to kind of get some of that information out. And I'm not saying it's on the top of my head, I got to say something. But if it comes up, there's a delicate balance between when do I say something and, when is it too fast to say something? Because listen, if somebody likes me and I like them and things are happening, it is important, I think, to mention my health history because I may have, issues in the future, such as, my radiation therapy. They told me in 10 years I might have kidney or liver failure, which, I mean, that could be something important to mention to a potential spouse or so. Yeah.
Well, it's important to tell them when you feel comfortable.
Yeah. And also,
and that's when it will be right.
You got to gauge the situation.
Sure.
What is this person into? Are they into something long term, or are they into something just for fun, or is it more just we'll see how it is? It's mainly when you're
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask
right
a question here?
Yeah. So go ahead, Peter.
Absolutely.
This is our contributor, our another sex panelist expert here. Peter, go ahead.
You seem to have a very positive attitude about the situation, which is incredibly helpful to you, certainly. How is your sense of humor with what you've been through, and the demonstration of it?
Peter, that's a great question. I'll be honest. At first, I was very nervous about it. Listen, I was dating around quite a bit, and I was trying to enjoy myself in life, and eventually, I'd like to find the right one and stuff. And this kind of threw me through a loop, both in regards to having cancer, but then the type of cancer. If I had melanoma or something, it wouldn't be as so concerning. However, I will say the comedy angle is pretty interesting because of the type of cancer that I have. And I have found myself using, levity in light of this type of cancer to bring awareness to testicular cancer. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise, but I'm not going to lie to you. There were times, especially when I was first diagnosed, where I was very much in my head and I was, nervous on dates, and if things would advance and, is she going to care that I didn't get a prosthetic? Is that important? And actually I was going to ask Diane, what her thoughts were on, as a woman would,
It doesn't matter if there's one or two down there, believe me.
She's had them all.
Mm-hmm.
Or none, because she likes vaginas too.
Mm-hmm.
I asked about the sense of
Good
humor
point.
just because I wondered if that might be a good entry point for you. Something that came to mind just as a random idea, and you yourself brought up the prosthetics too, is, and this sounds silly, but it just crosses my mind, is if it's something that you identify with as a point of a sense of humor, if perhaps you had a prosthetic as, say, a keychain or something like that, that is just a silly thing you kept around that might be visible, might have someone ask a question of, hey, what is that? It looks like a testicle. And then it's an entry point to the conversation with you. And it also demonstrates your relaxed handling of the situation, your sense of humor. It lets you broach it in a playful way where you get the information out, but you're also immediately implying to the person, this is not an oversensitive emotional subject for me. I'm willing to openly discuss it.
Yes. And Peter, you nailed it exactly, because I try to be very open about it. Because one, it helps me as I'm still healing in my medical trauma, for lack of better terms. But I think it really also helps to bring awareness to this specific type of cancer, which doesn't often get a lot of attention. So funny that you mentioned about the keychain, because we have these little, I work with a nonprofit, the Testicular Cancer Awareness Foundation. And in North America, we're the largest awareness org for TC. And they often send out to all the survivors little, it's about the size of your palm. It's a scrotum, a gelatin scrotum with a ball in it that has, like lumps and ridges, so that you'll learn to identify what it is. So I have had those in my car before on dates, and have people say, like, why do you have that?
Your
Where do
rearview
you
mirror
have
there?
that?
Or just like from your truck, your boat hitch in the back of your truck there.
That sounds, someone was asking about the Packer they saw on the screen behind me, and that sounds
Yes.
very similar.
Yeah.
BJ, what's the ribbon? Is there like a blue ribbon, or is there what's the ribbon for testicular cancer?
It's blue. Blue is generally the color for testicular cancer. Yeah.
Well, you just
Yeah,
know.
and that's April, by the way, for Testicular Cancer Awareness. But
Everybody.
listen, there's so many different things that my mind bounces to with just kind of issues in regards to relationships. And overall, like, I'm okay with it. I just kind of wanted to get a census. Really, the heavy hitting question, I think, is, when do you tell someone that you had testicular cancer and you only have one nut? And is that important? I know in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important, but let me relate it to a lot of your female listeners out there, and something that I've had at other testicular cancer or other cancer conversations. And when I talk to a lot of breast cancer survivors, they are very apprehensive about how their partner may interpret their body. Everyone understands it, like, listen, you're a dirtbag if you don't like someone just because they have one nut. But the question is not about, it's what I think the other person might think. That's the problem. And similarly, and at first, like, I was very nervous about someone kind of touching me there, because I was not used to it at that point. It was still very fresh in my mind. And I know a lot of breast cancer survivors say the same thing, where they, feel a little uneasy at first. But obviously, once you're in love with someone, like, come on, it's not going to be that big a deal. But starting off, like, when is it? Clearly not the first date you say something, but maybe the second or third date.
Definitely, because you're going to eventually get intimate with them, and they're gonna see that.
And I haven't met many women that are just like, I love balls.
Nobody
I really
is.
love. I just like
Yeah.
sucking
No.
balls. I love
I was
them.
going to say that I've
No.
had multiple partners, not specifically about me, but in general, say, honestly, if there weren't balls, I wouldn't
Just
care.
throw it all away.
Yes.
You know,
They're
it's
the
doesn't-
least
Still
interesting part of the package. To
Yeah,
me.
yeah, they're pretty gross looking. So being down one,
It's not a
not a big
deal.
deal. But hopefully we got your questions somewhat answered. You can feel confident. It's really
Yeah.
good chatting with you there, BJ. I hope you live up to your name. We're glad that you are here and that you're in remission, and I hope you stay sex positive, my friend.
Thank you both very much, Chet, Diane,
Thank
Peter.
you.
I really appreciate what you guys are doing out there, helping people. Like, it's touchy stuff, and I just appreciate having a resource.
No problem. All right, have a good night there.
Night.
You too.
Good night.
All right. Wells, wow. Sorry, you were a little quiet there. I thought you were sleeping
little.
for a second. Are you all right?
You okay there?
I was just contemplating
Yeah.
taking it all.
Yeah, no,
I
that's a
actually
lot.
have
It is a
met-
lot.
It is
I
a
actually
lot.
have met women who like balls.
You have
met
you
women who like balls?
Yeah.
like they
like
like
to play
they're
with
visually
them.
appealing.
Like that turns me on.
Suck
It just
on them there. They think they're fun. They
Ah.
think they're fun to
Huh.
stimulate.
That's
But
cool.
I'm sure it wouldn't matter to 95 to 99% of women that a man only has one testicle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
No,
And I think some people are fetishists about certain things, which
That's
is
true.
fine. But it is also
Although
oftentimes the other side of the problem is that someone feels fetishized for a part of their body, and so it's one thing I imagine for women to have the consciousness issue of a mastectomy because they know it's such a visual appeal, a physical appeal to
Yeah,
men.
totally.
But the testicles don't, for the most part, share the same status.
That's right.
Yes.
But,
But the bottom line is the right partner will love you for who you are no matter what.
exactly. Well, moving on. Do we have somebody else on the old call board there,
We
Wells?
certainly do, Chet and Diane. We have Leah, who
Leah.
drained her and her husband's savings to start an online business.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
All right. Hello.
Oh, you're talking Sex Live with Chet and Diane. I'm Diane.
And I'm Chet. And
Hi,
Hi, Leah. How are you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
We're great.
We're good.
Just enjoying ourselves. We're up at a cabin outside of Aspen in Colorado, just cozy, drinking some scotch.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're about to, afterwards we're going to have some fun. How about you? How are you doing?
I could be better. I'm a little stressed out.
Okay.
Mhm.
What's going on there, Leah?
So, as everybody's going through hard times financially. So, one night I was sleeping and it just came to me in a dream that I should open my own business, my own online business.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like my husband probably would have been a little hesitant because, we're not working like we were. So I decided to just do it. I went to the bank. I withdrew our life savings,
Mm-hmm.
and I just figured I would surprise him with the funds that I got from my new business.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
But things aren't going well. I ordered all the supplies. I even got a storage unit to keep all the supplies because I thought it would be a little suspicious that it would come here.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I decided to open an online phone case company.
Okay.
I made them all myself.
Mm-hmm.
Some with sequins and some with fur. And it's been about 4 months now, and I haven't sold one.
Oh, wow.
But I did sell one, but they returned it, so I had to give them their money back.
Got it.
I am paying monthly for this storage unit full of sequins and fake fur and
Mm-hmm.
Other supplies, and I feel like my husband is starting to get suspicious
So
about.
you haven't told
You
him
haven't
yet?
told your husband
Not at all.
No, oh no,
Mm.
No, I expected to have the money already, but it just isn't panning out that way.
No.
So I'm a little stuck. I don't know what to do.
Well, first of all,
It's important to be open and honest with your relationship
Yes.
about your financial situation.
exactly. Finances are one of the biggest reasons for divorce, and it's if you really got to talk to your partner because you got to think of yourself as a unit. You're like a financial money making unit, both of you. And as soon as you kind of like your business partners, not only like life partners, you're working towards a common goal of sustaining your family, building equity, we're planning for your retirement. These are all big goals that you do together. So if you kind of go off and drain everything and don't tell them about it and not become profitable about it, that could be a big reason for someone leaving you. So do you have a plan of when you're going to tell them at all, or?
I don't. I'm really nervous about it. I don't want him to leave me or divorce me or anything. So I don't know how to tell him.
Ooh. All right. Well, let's do a little role play. Diane, I drained our bank account so I could start my own sex shop.
And you didn't want to tell me this
Because I wanted to impress you. I wanted you to be proud of me, but
Okay.
the sex toys are all 8 inches in diameter, and there's no market for that right now.
Huh.
And how do you feel about that?
I gotta think about this.
Okay. And see. So,
Well, at least she didn't divorce you.
that is true. That is true. She just said, I have to think about this. So hopefully that's an answer that your husband
do.
will give you. Wells, did you have something that you wanted to say there?
Yeah, what if she just yelled it during sex?
That's a great idea. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What you got to butter them up. You know, what's
Give 'em a
something?
massage.
Yeah. Guys love blowjobs. The Jinx, you owe me a blowjob. No, blowjob. Damn it, we both said the wrong thing. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, guys love blowjobs. Just go down on them and say, "I'm really sorry, but I drained our bank account because I thought I could do something in the pandemic that's not panning out so well," and just say that I don't know. Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll give that a shot. That might work. Maybe I'll try it tonight.
There you go. Back massage. Just treat them well. So tell them that you're sorry, and just say that you'll do.
He might be relieved because maybe he thought you were cheating on him
Yeah,
too.
that is true. You're going to that undisclosed location, and maybe it's something that he thought you were cheating on him, and then you're like, no, you're the only man. I love you. Well, good luck with that, Leah. Hopefully, we can that'll work out for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
No problem. Have a good night. Stay sex positive. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Whew. So you're into polyamory. Is that correct there, Peter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have a great deal of experience with polyamory.
So how does that work with having, multiple partners? Do you all share finances, or is it just you
no.
and then they do their own thing, or?
Yeah, I think most relationships benefit these days from separating finances and pooling resources as needed for specific items such as rent and utilities if you live with the other person. But otherwise, no. I think it would for me, in my experience with some of my partners, it would be disastrous. I've loved some wonderful people who were not particularly good with money. Which is being charitable, if I describe it that way. And I know my finances would have utterly collapsed if our accounts were combined.
Yeah.
And I've made mistakes along the way as well, and I think it's not fair to push those mistakes on another person. I I just, I worry in Leah's case. I wonder, I don't know what went wrong with her product line as someone with experience with novelty products. The fact that she hid the information from her partner might have also prevented her from getting valuable feedback she might have needed to be more successful. Well, she might have missed an important part of what was wrong with her marketing.
Yeah, well, with two people not working during the pandemic, it's like they're looking to do something, you know? It's like the other person could have helped out.
Absolutely.
Wells, who do you feel that? Do we have anybody else calling in right now?
We do. We have one more. It is Ken from Nebraska City, and his new wife wants to be intimate with someone new there.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, you're talking Sex Live with Chet and Diane. I'm Chet.
I'm Diane.
And is this Ken?
Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Ken.
Hi. Hey,
Hi.
can you all hear me?
I can.
Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Perfect. How are you folks doing tonight?
Well, we're doing
doing
great.
really
We
good.
are cozy in our cabin up in Aspen or near Aspen, Colorado. Just enjoying the fine weather outside and looking forward to Christmas. How about you, Ken?
Well, things are good. I'm, here on my farm here in Nebraska City.
Mm-hmm.
Things
I
are,
did not know there was a Nebraska City.
Mm-mm.
No. But sorry, what was that?
Yes, it's in Nebraska.
God, well, makes sense. I mean, well, Kansas City's in Missouri and in Kansas. I don't know. But so,
What's your question?
yeah, what can we help you out with?
Well, you see, so I got married recently and to a young, pretty lady. She's about 15 years my junior. Okay,
wow.
we got married. Oh, well, doing pretty good. Now, but the thing is, I think I'm a little old-fashioned or maybe a little outdated for her because she's into some of the things I think kids are into these days, and I'm just kind of not into. Like she's really into what the kids are doing. They're using a Ouija board to summon spirits to have sex with them.
Oh.
And so that's something I didn't do when I was her age.
Okay.
And so here's the crux of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So now
The
Michelle,
Horcrux
she
of the problem.
summoned.
Oh, sorry. Go
Well,
ahead.
Michelle had summoned Frank apparently, and now they've hit it off. And Michelle, my wife, wants me to watch her have sex with Frank in our barn.
Okay.
Oh,
Now I've seen this a few times. All right, I'm just not into it. Okay, the cows are enjoying it, but
Oh, well.
Michelle threatened to leave me if I don't condone her having her own thing with Frank.
Okay. So you've actually seen an apparition have sex with your young wife?
Well, apparently he's invisible to me, but
Okay.
Michelle can see him, and I see her, go to her woman thing while they're, having ghost sex.
Okay. Do you think she just likes to masturbate and just wants?
No,
an
she's not
excuse?
masturbating.
Oh, she's not. She's just literally like laying there and she's getting like just.
And Frank is having sex with her. Oh yeah, they're making me watch.
Are you into cockling at all?
Michelle said I could have my own ghost girlfriend, but again, call me old-fashioned. I like my sexual partners in physical form. So, let me ask you. My question is: am I being too possessive over her ghost possession obsession?
I like that alliteration. I guess it's not alliteration; it's more rhyming. But I would. At least it's not a real person, you know. I don't know. I think if Diane was doing this to me, I'd be like, all right, seems hot. Why not? So I would ask to join in if it's fine. If you.
Well,
partake.
I'm not ghost gay or anything like that. I'm it's natural the way God wants us to
Got
have
it.
sex with female ghosts.
Okay, so you don't want to have a devil's ghost triangle or just ghost devil triangle?
May I suggest an alternative in that same vein? I'm sorry, this is Peter here.
It freaked me out. At first, I thought that maybe you were a ghost.
Oh.
I don't know anymore these days.
That sounds fair. Have you considered asking if her ghost partner might possess your body? so that you could take on the role of the physical male body in this encounter. You could feel connected to the situation, but you wouldn't be interacting with the ghost as a separate entity, but as an extension of yourself, or you as an extension of them.
Isn't that what they did in that movie where they were making some clay pots or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, maybe, but yeah,
Ghost.
Ghost?
you got the movie Ghost.
Yeah.
If you could actually, I mean, if you don't believe in this, if you don't think this is real, or maybe
It
you
might
do,
not be. I mean,
Oh,
it
this is real. I'm seeing it firsthand. I don't see Frank, but I can see him having his way just in the hay.
Okay, well,
Okay.
you are a physical person,
Yes.
so if you were to just step
I
in
am.
wherever this ghost Frank is, and just start going at it, and then if she gets a little scared, you just be like, "I'm Frank," and start, and just maybe she'll enjoy that. I don't know.
Maybe that's what she wants you to do.
Yeah, maybe that's
Maybe there's no Frank and she just wants you to role
Well,
play.
I guess I could do that. I'm just concerned it might weird her out if she sees me saying I'm Frank, and then she's also looking at Ghost Frank.
well. I mean, she is 15 years younger than you are. I don't know. I think it's natural to imagine somebody else while you're having sex. I mean, Diane thinks about young
Margot
Hugh
Robbie.
Jackman. What?
Oh,
You said Marco Rubio?
Margot Ruby.
Oh, Margot Robbie. I thought you said Marco Rubio. I'm like, nope. I'm out of here.
He's a good-looking
Sorry.
man.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I would
but he's-
understand that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, she pictures me as Margot Robbie, and so
Or Robbie, I guess.
is it Robbie or Roby?
One of those.
I believe it's Robbie.
Is it Robbie?
Robbie.
Yeah.
I like to put a French twang on it. So, anyways, and I picture her sometimes as also Margot Robbie. So
Yeah.
that's just how it is. So, but I mean, what are you comfortable with? I guess that's what it comes down to. Are you comfortable? With
Well,
just
you know,
letting her do
I'd
this?
like to try to keep. I want to keep the marriage. You know, I see a future with this young little lady. Maybe it's just a fad. Maybe it's just a phase that these kids are going through where they have sex with ghosts.
I mean, I'm not keeping up with his fads. Wells, you're pretty young. Is this something that that kids are into nowadays? Is having sex with ghosts?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I've never heard of this before.
Well, you never summoned a ghost to have sex with? Because quarantine right now, I think that would be your best scenario. Not having any sex and to happen to summon a ghost to have sex with, I think that would actually be the bee's knees right now. All right.
Cricket, cricket,
That
cricket.
sounds like a phrase
Well,
from our
maybe what I'll
college
do is
generation.
I'll ask Frank if Frank could introduce me to a lovely little ghost lady,
There
and
you go.
you know, maybe this will just be an unconventional thing. We'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know what
It's
this.
what do they call it? The new normal, right?
Yeah. Paranormal cochleophilia. I don't know. What do you think about that?
The new
Peter?
paranormal.
Yeah, that maybe that would be the NC-17 paranormal. Movie.
Certainly. I mean, I think the big question here, because you made comment about at least it's not a real person, but it sounds as though she believes it to be real, and it sounds like our caller there does. Ken, you said you can or cannot see Frank.
Well, I can't see his body, but I can definitely see what he's doing to her body.
Oh.
So-
He's real. He's there.
So
Not to be too vulgar here, but presuming she's having, say, missionary style intercourse with him, you, for instance, can
Oh, yeah.
see the effect on her vaginal canal from his entry.
Well, I'm kind of sitting back where the cows are, so I can't see everything. You know, I
Okay.
don't. You know,
that's your first.
I don't want to be too weird about it.
mistake there.
Well,
You should just be in. Just start slow and say, "Hey, can I watch? Can I come in and can I watch? I'm into. I want to be more into you. I want to help you out. I'm gonna sit in the corner here and watch you. And if I'm aroused, maybe I'll masturbate. And then if it looks like there's actually a penis, like an outline of a penis going into her vaginal canal, then I would." Wow. I mean,
Run.
yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, if it's just her masturbating, then you
That's
should
fine.
yeah.
Just,
you should just try and say somehow to join in, and then maybe that's just she just is looking for you to have sex with her more. She's young. And,
Well, it just makes me feel like I'm just not enough. Like she's not connecting to me emotionally, and maybe now she's not connecting to me in a physical way. So now she's trying to find love in another dimension.
so I would strongly suggest. It sounds like she is trying to call out to you desperately to just have some type of physical connection with her. Maybe she's
also pay more attention to her. Could
yeah, just instead of going out and farming and work and tinkering in your workshop all day, you should probably go inside and try and actually just talk to her, or give her a nice back massage, rub her feet. Just find your hands.
I'm going to give her a day off the farm where she does not have to work the farm.
Got it. That is a good idea. Does she do a lot of work on the farm, or is it just you?
Oh yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I put her to work.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, things must be much different in Nebraska, but I would try it
Nebraska
there.
City.
No, Nebraska City. Sorry, the big city of Nebraska City. I would try to go in and do. That's the first thing. Just give her the day off, and then if she starts doing this whole thing with her hands and whatnot, if you see Frank come in, just I wouldn't startle her. I'd just go ahead and jump in and say that you're interested to participate.
I think you're right. Maybe we'll even have a no sex with Frank day.
Oh, okay, sure. If you want to go into that route, or there's a lot of different things you could do. I actually kind of like that idea. I think that we should probably do a role play where you're having sex with a ghost and I become the ghost.
Huh.
Yeah, does that sound good?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Well, I hope we helped
I
you
really
out
think
there.
there's a ghost there.
You do think there's a ghost?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We don't have a whole lot of experience with
No, not at all.
exorcisms or ghost busting. Don't have ectoplasm ray or.
Well, you'll want to burn some sage
There
and
you
then
go.
slaughter a lamb and put it some blood over the bed.
Yeah, Wells is he used to be a big evangelical Christian, and so he knows a lot about
Good for you.
how to thwart off demons and ghosts. So, anything else you would recommend there, Wells?
That should do it.
Yeah.
If that doesn't do it, you can always take some of the lamb's blood, put it just underneath her perineum there.
Oh wow,
No.
that's a little much.
Is that expensive? I don't think she has one of those.
Okay,
Okay.
that is
That
Some
explains a
people
lot.
call
Yeah.
it a taint.
a taint. Yes, the female taints, not very big, but it's there. Holy water. Maybe you could get your hands on some holy water, or
Oh,
just
yeah.
how
Oh,
about
yeah.
you just destroy the Ouija board? Just
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know what happened to it. It's just gone. Maybe Frank took it with him when he went back to his afterlife. So yeah,
I'll burn the Ouija board.
there you
There
go.
you go.
That might do it right there. And then, you know what? Best thing is to pay attention to her and to make sure that she is wanted and that she's appreciated and that she's loved and she has the physical attention that she needs. So, can you do that for me, Ken?
Yeah, I'll do all that stuff. Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, stay sex positive out there. Stay safe, my friend. Have a good night, and please treat your lovely wife well.
Well, thank you very much. You two have a good night and a happy holidays to you both.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, my friend.
Bye.
All right, bye. Whew,
That took a
man.
turn I didn't expect.
Yeah, I was not expecting ghost sex.
No, not
I
at
mean, we've been around a lot of different fetishes and stuff. I don't think we've dealt with a ghost fetish. Peter, how about you?
No, not directly. I mean, there's a lot of history between the paranormal and sexuality connections. Some real, some fake, or I guess I can't say whether or not they're real. I mean, you mentioned ectoplasm. That makes me think of the connection with the Ouija boards. The history of ectoplasm came from spiritual mediums who would hide cheesecloth in their vaginas and then pull it out during the seance and pretend it was this thing called ectoplasm, which of course I suppose that's where maybe some of the moisture from it might have derivated from, but there's a lot of history and odd ways of connections to that. And you'll find people on Etsy sell haunted sex toys, and I can't speak to whether or not they're actually haunted. That's something no one's ever asked me to test one of those, so I don't know.
Well,
but I imagine there has to be. I mean, there are toys shaped like various monster genitals and aliens and robots, and I'm sure somebody has some fetishes for ghosts. It's just a question of whether or not the connection is real, and that's why I was so curious to see: does he actually see the physical manifestation of a ghost penis entering her body? Because I mean, he honestly, if he recorded that and could prove it, he could win some money.
Yeah, that'd be a trip, man. That would be I mean, all science is now just blown out the window there.
Can you imagine the Pornhub categories?
Oh, God. Well, I'm sure there is a Pornhub video of basically a paranormal activity spoof. I mean, there's one for every single movie out there practically. So Diane and I just like to have fun looking through different... We saw Aladdin and Grinch and
not the same after that.
No,
I'm pulling up over 1,100 results for ghost sex on Pornhub right now.
Wow, there you go. It's just, it's a thing. And apparently, I'm sorry if we offended anybody who practices this often.
No judgment.
No judgment at all. We support all types of sexual desires as long as it's safe, sane, and consensual.
Sane.
But would you have sex with a ghost there, Wells? I'm pushing this, Wells. You should try this out since you are at home quarantine in your awesome studio, by the way. You're finally back out at your studio. But
well, that's a big risk inviting a succubus in because you
succubus,
don't know what
of course.
Succubus you're getting.
Yeah, well, I mean, the word succubus, you know you're going to be getting one thing. That's blowjobs.
No.
Gosh, yeah. So.
But I think tonight.
Yeah, blowjobs all around there tonight. That is a crazy through line. Well, does anybody else have anything that they want to add at all? We got Peter still looking for more ghost sex. We
Just
know
doing
he's
plenty
gonna
of
be doing.
research.
There you go. He's gonna pull out that snail and have a lot of fun.
Snail? Where's the snail? Oh, I see
snail.
it. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what that snail is for, but it looks fun.
I don't even remember what that one's for. It's been a while.
Fun.
I just thought it looked pretty.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. Well, it was a fun show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Twitch, for having us on. It'll probably get deleted soon. I don't know from the admins, but because who knows? I had to make the title the word sex S3X. So
like Tesla's naming scheme.
There you go. And it to the eye it looks the same. But we'll be back in 2 weeks, streaming live again. We want you to stay safe out there in quarantine, everybody. Wear a mask if you go outside. Practice safe sex. And be safe, sane, and consensual, and sex positive. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.